Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where we break down the biggest stories shaking up South African politics. Today, we are diving into an explosive and emotionally charged development involving Duduzile Zuma, daughter of former President Jacob Zuma, and what many believe to be a pointed response in the ongoing Cold War between her father and EFF leader Julius Malema. Make sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop your thoughts in the comment section, because this one's going to spark some serious debate. So, what exactly did Duduzile Zuma say, and why is it sending ripples through the political landscape? In a defiant and emotionally stirring post on social media, Duduzile Zuma boldly declared, "I'm superb. I can't be bested. It's impossible. You can criticize me, you can hurt me, but you're never going to beat me." Now, she didn't mention any names, but let's be honest, South Africa knows how to read between the lines. And for many, this sounded like a direct message aimed at Julius Malema and other vocal critics of her father. This statement lands right in the middle of a political storm that has been brewing for months, one defined by escalating tensions, public shade, and a collapse of what was once considered a formidable alliance between Zuma and Malema. Remember, Malema was once a staunch supporter of Jacob Zuma. He defended Zuma against criticism from the DA and even ANC veterans. But fast forward to 2025, and their relationship has completely broken down, replaced by jabs, insults, and ideological divergence. Malema now positions himself as a revolutionary purist, distancing the EFF from Zuma's legacy, which he's publicly described as corrupt and toxic to the broader liberation project. In contrast, Duduzile and her siblings continue to cast their father as a victim of political persecution, a man betrayed by his own comrades and demonized by the media and elite institutions. So, where does Duduzile Zuma fit into all this? Over the years, Duduzile has transformed from a relatively private figure into a loud and proud political voice, often unapologetically loyal to her father. Whether it's defending Jacob Zuma during the Zondo Commission, retweeting controversial takes on the judiciary, or now throwing veiled punches at political opponents, Duduzile has become a kind of spokesperson for what some call the Zuma faction of South African politics. Her voice resonates especially with Zuma loyalists in KwaZulu-Natal and among young, disillusioned ANC supporters who feel the party has abandoned its roots. And her recent post? It's more than just a personal statement. It's a political war cry. Analysts suggest that this moment isn't random. It's part of a broader effort to mobilize support behind the Zuma name, possibly in anticipation of another political push, whether through the MK party or some other vehicle. It's no secret that Zuma-aligned forces are eyeing a comeback in the face of the ANC's declining popularity and the fragile unity of the opposition. According to political commentator Saifo Masiko, Duduzile's rhetoric signals that the Zuma camp is done playing nice. He stated, "This kind of defiance is part of a long-standing strategy to portray the Zumas as martyrs of South African politics, constantly attacked but never defeated." And indeed, that defiance is deeply personal. For the Zuma family, political attacks aren't just political, they're perceived as deeply emotional betrayals. Don't forget, Jacob Zuma has long claimed he's been targeted unfairly, with state institutions weaponized against him. That message has resonated powerfully among supporters who view him not as a fallen leader but as a revolutionary scapegoat. Now, let's zoom out. Why is this statement, made by someone who technically holds no official political position, receiving so much attention? Because it illustrates how deeply personal politics has become in South Africa. The collapse of alliances like the one between Zuma and Malema shows just how fractured our political space has become. Where once there were ideological battles, today we see personality cults, social media shade-throwing, and deeply emotional appeals to identity, loyalty, and betrayal. And this is why Duduzile's post matters. It plays into the growing politicization of family ties, legacy narratives, and emotional victimhood in our democracy. Her words, dripping with pride and defiance, aren't just about her, they're about an entire political movement built on the idea that the Zumas are under siege, and yet, somehow, undefeated. Of course, the EFF hasn't remained silent in the broader picture. While Malema has yet to directly respond to Duduzile's post, his recent public statements have continued to take swipes at Zuma, calling his political return desperate and warning that certain old men are trying to use nostalgia to manipulate voters. The feud is real, and it's personal. This rift represents more than just sour grapes, it's a signal of changing political fault lines. As the ANC stumbles toward what may be its weakest electoral showing since 1994, Zuma loyalists, breakaway factions, and populist forces like the EFF are all jockeying for the hearts and minds of millions of South Africans who are angry, unemployed, and feeling forgotten. That's the real battlefield. Duduzile Zuma's voice, while seemingly symbolic, is part of a calculated campaign to control the narrative, to say, "We are still here. We are not afraid. We are not going away." And whether or not you support the Zuma family, it's undeniable that their name still carries weight in certain corners of this country, especially in provinces where loyalty runs deep and memories of the liberation struggle are still fresh. So, what's next? Well, as the political calendar heats up and coalition talks intensify, expect more of this, more veiled tweets, more emotional declarations, more strategic media noise. The Zumas know how to stir the pot, and as long as there's a camera, a microphone, or a Twitter account, they're going to use it. And Malema? He's unlikely to take this lying down. He's already made it clear that he sees the future of South African politics without Jacob Zuma in the picture. But whether he can hold his coalition together while fending off this kind of emotional populism, that's another story entirely. So buckle up, South Africa. We're not just watching a political rivalry, we're watching a political family war that could reshape alliances, reawaken old loyalties, and reframe the way we think about power in this country. Thanks for watching, and if you made it this far, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more in-depth political analysis, and share your thoughts in the comment section. Is Duduzile Zuma carving out her own political path? Or is this all just noise in a much bigger game? We'd love to hear your take. See you next time.